What's happening, everyone? I'm Sir James from GamerFusion.com, and today I'm here to provide you with my review for a PlayStation Vita exclusive known as Senran Kagura Shinovi Versus. Now in this game, it does feature not only just a fighting game, but also features a really interesting story. In this case, at the very start of the game, you do have 3 different schools. You have a school of good, evil, and dark. Now pretty much what's going on here is that the School of Evil in this case wants to make this whole utopia thing, so they go and challenge the School of Good and pretty much into a shinobi battle royale, and along the way you're actually finding out that the characters, depending on what school you play, are fighting for a different cause. Some are fighting to bring back honor to their family, others are fighting to save one another, and another is fighting just to become a master shinobi. But along the way you actually find out why this other school is attacking you, and the story gets a lot more deeper than that, but I don't want to spoil anything for you. But just overall, it was a really cool and interesting story. There's even a couple of touching moments for, I kind of want to tear up a little bit, but other than that, it has a really cool story. As for the graphics, visually the game looks really nice looking. What I did notice is a couple different things, such as the characters have a nice HD resolution texture going on from start to finish of the entire game, while some of the battle locations kind of have like different resolutions going on. For example, some of the battle segments that takes place outside, based on the appearance from what I'm seeing, kind of look like it has a little bit of a lower resolution, while other places when you're fighting inside, such as the school or other locations, seem to have much of a higher texture going on, kind of close to the character models, but not to be exact. But even with some of the lower resolution areas, such as the fighting locations, it didn't discourage from the gameplay at all. Just overall, the gameplay looked really nice. Now, you don't have like a huge amount of areas that you're going to be visiting within the game in terms of fighting locations. Some of the areas are going to be reused, but you're just going to be fighting in a different section. Like for example, let's say the school, for example, you're fighting in a classroom, now you're going to be fighting in the hallway, and it's things like that, just different locations of the same area but in different parts, which is pretty cool because it kind of changes the aspect a bit, and you kind of get to see a little bit more of the different locations that you'll be fighting in from different areas. But overall, visually the game looked really nice, especially with the character models and some of the level locations as well. Now as we get to the gameplay section, this is pretty much easy to understand. If you've never played a fighting game, then you don't have to worry about it one bit in this one, because the game does feature a training mode. But if you played fighting games before, then this one should be pretty much no problem for you to handle. You do have your basic controls, such as pressing triangle will perform a heavier attack, while performing circle will pretty much equal to a dodging mechanic, where you're able to kind of, depending on the character that is, they'll have a much more quicker dodge reaction, while others may have a little bit of a slower reaction. Pressing box repeatedly will be performing your basic hit combos, which you can even consume massive amounts of combos within this game. Pressing down on the D-pad will actually perform a combo breaker, meaning that let's say if the enemy's coming at you and they're just pretty much hammering you down and you need to get out of that combo, pressing down will basically kind of make your character kind of look like they're about to go Super Saiyan mode there for a second and break the combo, allowing you to break away and to come back around to swing at the enemy, while pressing up on the D-pad will allow you to pretty much have a lock-on mode, which is extremely useful for boss fights. And of course, pressing X will allow your character to jump. Now there is additional content to the controls once you activate your Shinobi mode. In this case, you will notice on the bottom left hand corner you have your health bar, you have a scroll list, and of course you also have a yellow bar. Every time your yellow bar maxes out, you get one additional combat scroll. The first time you activate it allows your character to go into a Shinobi mode, which is basically their battle outfit, where your attacks are going to be much different than before and a lot stronger. Now, of course, you're able to perform special attacks as well compared to your basic normal attacks. In this case, by pressing the left trigger in box, will use up one scroll and perform just a regular special attack, while pressing the left trigger in triangle will perform a super special, which the attacks will be much more stronger. Now, of course, besides the battle mechanics, you do have some other features such as training mode. You're able to go and do these other modes within the game, will kind of help with character development, kind of learn a little bit more about them, depending on what school you choose to play in, unless if you choose to play in all 3 schools. And of course, you also have a ranking system, which since you obviously are in the school, you're going to be pretty much ranked and get graded based on your performance. A is the highest, while F is a fail, where you get some experience and some currency, and A will give you the much more experience and much more currency at the end of the battle, which you're able to level up your characters, and by leveling up your characters, you will increase their skill list. In this case, for example, let's say you have an attack that's like a super uppercut. By increasing the level of the character, now you have a super uppercut level 2, and now super uppercut level 3. I'm not sure what the end level is, but so far I have a character that's actually past level 40, and I'm still able to upgrade. And by upgrading your character, you're able to get more additional health and attack strength. And of course, as for the currency, the game does feature a shop where you're able to go and pretty much customize the look of your character. So if you want your character to kind of have like a bunny outfit, or a waitress, pretty much anything that your mind can think of, the game does have this as an option. Now the 3 clothing options that you have is the first basic outfit that they have on over their normal wear, in this case their undergarments. You're able to change their undergarments, so if you want to have something a little bit more fancy or just a little bit extra going on, you have that option. And of course you have their maiden battle outfit, which you can go and change up for that. But overall, there's a lot of customization options in the battle mechanics because each character is a bit different than what they are. Just overall, it was a really good, smooth gameplay, and I didn't notice any lag whatsoever. Now, as for the sound aspect of the game, overall the in-game soundtrack was really awesome to listen to, and if you do go out and buy this title, I highly recommend the limited edition, which does include the in-game soundtrack. Now, besides the awesome soundtrack, it does feature some really good voice actors. It is using the original Japanese voice actors. There's no English voice actors whatsoever, or even an option for that. And of course, it does feature English subtitles for if you don't understand Japanese. But like I said, the soundtrack and voice actors did a really good job, and it was just really cool to listen to, especially some of the heat of the battle where certain music came in. I was just bobbing my head. I was really getting into the groove of the whole battle, especially during some of the boss fights, and even the final boss fight. I mean, that really got pretty hectic, but it was really enjoyable to listen to. Now, as for the lifespan, what kind of lifespan do I see for this title, and what's going to make players want to come back to play this game even more? Now, I don't see it as a huge lifespan, like, the story is well worth it to come back and replay it again, or you can change how the story goes. I mean, you do have 3 different schools to choose from, so the story is slightly different from before, but other than that, it's going to be the same result, just the different characters you get to use. But the combat system that the game has to offer was really enjoyable. For some people, it may get repetitive, but others, they may want to try out leveling up their characters to the max and try to see what's the highest combo they can go. For me, I was able to get a combo of 2,000 hits. That's pretty crazy for a fighting game, and the fact that it ran smooth on the Vita. But overall, like I said, it did feature an enjoyable story, a lot of customization options, in this case what people are going to refer to as fan service for the title. But other than that, it has a decent lifespan. It may not be a huge lifespan, but is one that you could easily come back to enjoy time and time again. As for the innovation, was there anything new here, or was this stuff that we already seen before? Honestly, this is stuff that we already seen before, but don't let that discourage you, because the game does feature a really nice story, and the combat is pretty much flawless from what I've seen, even though some characters are slightly overpowered than others. But overall, the game was really fun and enjoyable, and basing this on some other games, I actually got more of a vibe from the Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm series with this game than any other game that I can think of on top of my head. But in the end, with the awesome soundtrack, the really cool gameplay, and some of the really cool segments within the game, overall, I'm going to give this game a 9 out of 10. Like I said, if this is something that you are interested and you really like in-game soundtracks, my recommendation is to try to get the limited edition if that is an option for you. But the basic game will serve its purpose as well. Anyways, I'm Sir James from Gamer Fusion, and always remember guys, Gamer Fusion empowers your gaming.